Welcome back to our third installment of the ATM10 to the Sky series. We are diving straight into Aerotech today, which might sound like a bit of a random move, but here's my thought process. Our current wood farm kinda sucks. Yeah, it's fast, but it only gives us spruce wood, and every tree farm uses this kind of spinning mechanic. So I was wondering, what if instead of building a spinning wood farm, we made one that moves back and forth? So yeah, for those who don't know, Create has something called a gantry, which is a contraption that moves back and forth, and I want to integrate a tree farm into it, which is completely and genuinely way more complicated than a normal spinning tree farm, but simple is boring, so here we are. Circling back to why we need Aerotech though, to be honest, the main reason is dirt, which sounds incredibly strange to start a tech mod, but hear me out. I like Aerotech, and we're going to need Aerotech for future stuff too, right? So that just makes sense to me. Anyways, we just need the dirt to expand the island. I did the old vanilla method of just mixing dirt and gravel to make coarse dirt and converting it back into normal dirt, but that took way too long. So we're bringing out the big guns. But before we could really get started with that, we had to upgrade our magmatic generator from a 1x to an 8x. Because I'm adding extra flux hammers here, it just wasn't producing enough energy, especially with the upgrades. So I'm hoping the 8x will cut it, but I see us having to upgrade this in the future, like really soon again, which is alright. I don't mind it that much, to be honest. Always going to need more electricity, so might as well figure out a efficient way to get that going. But now that we've got that done, we can move on to the next step in what is going to be probably a very lengthy process. And by that I mean, of course, gathering the resources to actually get Aerotech going. For those unfamiliar, Aerotech needs a lot of iron, nickel, and I believe copper. Don't quote me on that, but I do believe it's copper. So that's the main reason why we had to add the flux hammers and increase the power. And then just wait a little bit, get some resources going, smelt it all down, and then once we get that, we are good to go. So once we have the motors, the auto crafters, the coils, the adamant ingots, we can finally craft the assembler. I think alongside the assembler, we're also going to craft a generator specifically to power all of our Aerotech stuff, and probably going to have to get a centrifuge as well. I think those are the most important ones, and maybe a pulverizer, but we'll see. The pulverizer is what's going to actually make the dirt, so we definitely need that now that I think about it. So we're just going to drop down the assembler right over here. I think this is a good spot for all the Aerotech stuff for now, at least. There we go. I must say, I've always been a big fan of Aerotech and its animations, and I think we're just going to go with the basic generator. You can chuck anything that a furnace would burn, and that would make you a pretty decent generator. I think this makes about 50k FE, which is not insane, but it's definitely enough to power the machines that we need to use. So we can just put that there, and there you go. All it takes is a little bit of coal. Once you've got that going, we can just finally start with the centrifuge, which we can just pop right next to it like that. And then pop a machine core on top, just like so, activate it, and boom. It's really just that simple. It's not that simple. It actually took me an insanely long amount of time to get all the resources for this. I just cut out all the boring bits. And this will... yeah, I forgot about that. But it's okay. As long as you are full health, if you hit the ground, you always have half a heart, which is great. Anyway, we are also going to need a fluid add-on if we want the centrifuge to actually do a whole bunch of stuff instead of just the basic stuff. So I reckon I will go make that real quick, and then we can actually start putting water inside the centrifuge, because without the fluid add-on, you can't put water in the centrifuge, which is a problem. Anyway, one of the main ingredients is carbon fiber, which you need to put coal dust into the centrifuge, and it makes like these little rods. We only need 5, so that's not too bad, I suppose. Not the most expensive thing in the world, and it's also fairly quick to craft. But there we go, we've got our 5, so we can just make our add-on. There we go. Now, once we put this on the centrifuge, we can just drop a bucket of water inside it, and boom, we've got something that can hold a little bit of water. Little bit of water. Little bit of water. There we go. Fairly straightforward. Yeah? We're also just gonna use some packed wheat to get us started. Packed wheat is nice because it basically compacts all your wheat into, I think it's 4 into 1 piece, and that will make processing anything involved with wheat just extremely quick. And the reason why we did the packed wheat is that we can pop this into our pulverizer, and this will pulverize it into biomass. Now, my students, you may be asking, why do we need biomass? Well, if you put biomass inside a metallurgic infuser with some sand, that will process into dirt, but it's very slow. So we're going to let that work a little bit, and we're going to start with what I think is going to be a pretty good platform for our new tree farm. Very central, I like that. So what I figured is we'll just do like a square shape. I started out trying to do like a circle, but I realized it's not much of a circle. So we are going to do, you'll see me actually put down a square, and I realized it's way too small. So try to spread it out a little bit. I don't think you can really see it that well with it sped up, but this is extremely boring to watch at normal speed, but there we go. I think there you go. See? Super simple little square. And I reckon this is the perfect setup for a gantry. I don't know why I was trying to do a circular shape for a gantry, which wouldn't have made sense. Crafting recipe for a gantry is fairly cheap. Just some alloy and some redstone. But I wanted to do my gantry a little bit different. I wanted it a little bit lower down. I didn't want like the entire contraption like at surface level. So I got the actual gantry track down at the bottom, and then I'll put everything on top of this, and basically you'll only see the steel girders moving back and forth. I've never made a gantry setup before, so I can't promise it's going to be very pretty or very efficient, but it will be something that I came up with all on my own, which I think adds a specific kind of charm to your world that you can't really get if you watch a YouTube video to kind of figure it out. At least in my opinion. I'm not knocking it. If that's how you prefer to play, then hey man, Minecraft is the type of game where you do what you want to do. You do what makes you happy, and that's all that should really matter. As long as you're having fun at the end of the day, I think it's okay, you know. Anyways, so we're going to do a simple gear ratio to power our gantry. I think if we ratio it like 2 or 3 times, it should be enough speed without breaking the contraption. So all we do is we'll just slap 3 water wheels straight down the line, but we are going to need a little platform underneath it as well, so maybe I should put that down first. There we go. And you can put the water wheels down, and then we're going to have to add some way for water to flow here, so then we'll just add a few more blocks to wrap around. Like so. Easy stuff right here, man. You know, if you ignore the amount of times I die, this is actually like a pretty chilled little world we got going. Don't know why I'm putting a torch on a spinning thing. I'm pretty sure, and I did it again. You know what? I think that's enough for torches. That should be okay. Alright, so just gonna close this off. Don't ever look at the underside of my builds. They're only ever pretty. It's only like, have you ever seen that Homer Simpson meme where it's like he's posing in front of Marge with his hands on his hips, and his front looks amazing, and then like his back fat is just all like tied together. That's literally my Minecraft builds in a nutshell. But there we go, we got the gantry spinning. in order to get the gantry to move back and forth, we are going to need to put another gantry of equal length on the other side. So basically one gantry will move forward, and once it reaches the edge, the other gantry will pull it back. I'm not too sure on the mechanics of the whole thing. All I know is that's how it works. And that's just, you say yes, boss, and you move on. Same thing with redstone for me. I don't understand redstone, not a lick of it. I just take things at face value and move on, which is probably not the best strategy to life, but what can you do? What can you do, you know? Anyway, so I figured the most effective... Dude, I really need to get some sort of greater flat there. Anyways, 1000 IQ stake clutch. Check this out. You've seen water bucket clutch, but have you seen a stake clutch before? Boom. I planned that, by the way. Not the fall, the stake thing. Anyway, it's best that we carry on with our build. No more distractions. Yeah, I think, yeah. Connect the gantry back. And then I'm gonna run the cogs like so. And this is killing my frames, I don't know why. See, I'm being extra careful this time around. Array occurrence for me. Maybe I should make this whole space a little bit safer. Yeah, I think so. Even though once I'm done, I'll never be back here again. There we go. And we're just going to pop the rest of these cogs down. And once we do that, we can actually put a gantry on the side, which is what we came here to do. And I've just gotten distracted. This is ADHD in full force, guys. Not a fun time. Anyway, with the gantry going up now, we can finally actually build this. I think this took way too long. It's day 24 already, and we've done a whole bunch of nothing. Anyway, so we just need to glue these down. This is the system I'm going to use. We're going to have the steel girders sticking out a little bit, and this is going to pass over the farm and cut down any wood. And this will run across. Bless me. Ooh. So once we glue everything together, like so, if we activate, oh boy. Are these holes just here? Or am I just not looking where I'm walking? Like, that's the second time. Anyway, that's needed to be glued like so. And now the gantry should work if I flick this lever. Fingers crossed. Yeah. Yeah. That took a lot of effort. That took way too much effort. I'm wondering if we actually needed the cogs there, because I was moving back and forth without the cogs. Interesting. Anyway, we'll leave it as is. I don't mind it. Look at that. This is basically the hardest part done, I think. Now we can actually focus on building it up a little bit. And that involves more steel girders. And what I'm thinking is we're going to put the deployers on one side. And then once we've got the deployers down, we can put the saws on the other side. So, yeah, it's going to be great. Look at that. It's ugly, but it's like, it's great ugly. So it's actually beautiful. Just gotta put the deployers in line with the dirt here. I'm realizing now this shape could be a little bit prettier. So I think we can put that there. That's not the right spot, but I don't think I realize. It's uneven. What are you, an idiot sandwich? Thank you. Boom. So that's the system we'll use. We'll just put the deployers down like so. Remember guys, when it comes to creating your own create contraptions, the first iteration, and sometimes the second, and sometimes and most likely the third, is never truly the final contraption. Or the working contraption, I should say. Anyway, so you just gotta glue all of this together. Look at that. That is a machine if I've ever seen one. Let's test it out. I'll just flick in the switch down there. Huh. That's not going to move backwards enough. Come on, back me to the side. That should work. In theory, this should work, right? Let's grow the tree. Oh. I did not think this through. I did not think this through at all. We need saws on the back end, which made this project twice as more expensive. Luckily, we have a boatload of iron, so the saws aren't actually that expensive to make. So we just slap this on the back, and now, in theory, this should work. Fingers crossed. Just gotta break this so that it extends far enough backwards. Okay, now we can put the saws here, like so. Let me get my glue. Just glue everything down. There we go. Right, now let's see if this works. This should work. There's no reason why this shouldn't work, right? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that works. Technology. Okay. I think we can integrate more tree saplings now. Let's do some more strenuous tests. Uh-oh. It's bouncing back. Why? Okay. What if we move the deployers to the middle instead of the front? Will it still knock on leaves? Probably not, right? See, first iteration, never the final iteration. An important lesson was learned today about create contraptions. I'm just saying. Yeah, come on. Oh. Why? Is there something my tiny brain cannot comprehend? Okay, so this is the final contraption we went with. It is extremely overkill, and it is most definitely not the best tree farm on earth, but it is one that I made, and I'm super proud of it. This should in theory work, right? There's absolutely no reason this doesn't work. I'm actually gonna scream. So we need to move these sides. The sides is what's bouncing off the leaves now. So if we just take this out, like so, right? And maybe we take these side pieces out too. Let me just put the chest here. Yeah, I think that works, right? I'm trying to think. It should work now because it's gonna slide underneath the leaves, and the area that needs to be chopped will actually just get chopped. Let's test this, and hopefully this works, because I've lost my mind. I've completely lost my mind on this contraption. What the hell is that tree? Okay. It's looking promising so far. Yeah, I think that works, guys. Let's do a proper test. Every tree type, go. Oh my god, it works. It works. I think my brain is fried, so we're gonna leave it there for today. If you guys enjoyed, please do give it a like and a sub, and I'll check you on the next one.